I'd be less annoyed if we all did just recognize that, yeah, no, all of these software projects are, in fact, they are autocratic. There is just one dude in charge. That's just what we're all going to have to live with. And we're going to build our entire ecosystems on top of a bunch of, dictators running around doing what they want. But I think the other problem with that is then, like, if you say that to a business, hey, yeah, there's just one dude that if he just wakes up in a bad mood, he could like tank all of your software because what he built is at the core of what you do. That's likely intolerable for most businesses. They'd be like, any legal department or finance department that looks at that or hears about that would be like, oh, you're not using that software. Like any sensible leader in a company would be like, oh yeah, we're not using that thing. So to some degree, I think we have to have this illusion that like there's foundations, there's all of these people, there's all of these checks and balances that just do not exist in practical reality. And I feel like that also was one of the things that gets people into this meat grinder that is open source, is people being like, oh, but look how you can have an impact. Look how you can get involved and do all of this stuff, when it's like, yeah, but you're not getting compensated for any of that. And then when push comes to shove, you don't have a voice in this. And there is the thing that people always say, like, oh, well, you can always fork it. And like that works in some communities. Like, obviously, of all of the communities we just talked about, I feel like Node.js is the one that is the most democratic, because they did fork multiple times when they were upset with leadership. They were like, nah, we're going to go over here and we're going to put the time, energy, and effort behind getting the hell away from you because we don't like what you're doing. I think that's one of the reasons why Node has, been able to flourish in the way it has, is because they have been able to be like, no, we're going to go do what we want. We want what our community wants. We get what you want, leader, but that's not what we want. So we're going to go over here. And if you're going to keep ignoring us, then we're just going to go fork and we're going to go do our own thing.
And importantly, as you said, following through on doing the thing. There have been tons of times in other places where people are like, we're forking. And then they click the fork button and then don't do anything because everyone expects that everyone else is going to do the work.
This also happened in the Drupal community when there was a big, going from Drupal 7 and Drupal 8, there was a group of people that were like, but we actually like Drupal 7. We don't want these changes to go through. And they fought them for a long time. But when it was very clear that they had lost, they didn't just like stick around the community and be like toxic and mean or whatever. They just forked Drupal 7 and then made Backdrop, and they made their own thing. But that was like a very healthy split because it allowed the community to like peacefully like segment, and the people that wanted the Drupal 7 thing could go keep using Drupal 7, and the people that wanted the new stuff could go use the new stuff.